Guys, I want to finish the video I made earlier where I got cut off because I think my phone was full, where I was talking about what women need to want sex. And ladies, I just would love for you to add your comments if there's anything else. I guess I'm making this video kind of for everyone and for myself. I'd like to point out I'm an escort for work, and I had an appointment earlier with a young man in his early 20s. He came bringing me these beautiful flowers, and I was just, it's very unusual for a younger man to have such good manners. And he also started out by just making it all about me. I was just complimenting him on his game, his sex game, and how good he was at oral. And he told me that a lot of his friends say, I just fuck girls. I don't even go down on them. I don't eat pussy. That's lame, and that's why these guys are not going to get laid when they get married, because if a guy sees a woman as an ejaculation device or a sex object and she doesn't have any pleasure out of it, her interest in sex is going to dwindle. Now, many women will have a lot of sex with the guy early on because she likes him, she wants to feel validated, she feels really into him, but cut by cut, a neglected woman will eventually not want sex at all. Okay? That's one of the requirements that women need to want sex. It has to feel good. They have to be with someone where they enjoy it. But what are some of the other requirements? The first one is the woman has to feel good about her body. She has to feel good about her body. She has to feel beautiful, and she has to feel like her sexuality is welcome and okay and acceptable. Women who don't like their bodies, especially if they've gained weight and don't feel attractive, or women who were shamed around their sexuality from religion, usually don't want sex that much. Just from what I know from talking to women and talking to men, they will avoid sex, they will keep their clothes on, they will keep the lights on, they don't want their body seen, they don't want to move around, like they're very self-conscious, and they're more concerned with how they look, so they can't really enjoy the pleasure in their bodies or be attentive to their partner. Men don't give a shit. I've had so many men that they're overweight. They don't care. They're not as sensitive to it as a woman is, because women were praised from a young age for our beauty. So whether you're big or you're small isn't so much the thing as how you feel about your body and in your body, and how you feel about your sexuality. So that's the first thing for women, how we feel in our bodies. And the second factor is stress level. A woman needs to feel relaxed before she wants sex. And she also, well, that's the third one, she needs to feel connected, but she needs to feel relaxed. So a woman that's been working all day and rushing home in traffic, and now she's got, the kids and the house and the homework, she's exhausted by the time she falls into bed, and sex is not what she's going to want, whereas her husband is stressed too, and he wants sex because sex helps him relax. So that's where men and women are different. Once again, she needs to feel relaxed, to feel turned on, because we have to open, our bodies have to open. We are a more receptive energy, and men's are penetrating. They penetrate into us energetically and physically, and that allows them to connect. That brings me to the third point. It's not just that men are just fucking to release their stress on their wives. That's how they connect. Men use sex to connect, and women need to feel connected to want sex, which brings me to the third point, and the flowers. The more a woman feels appreciated and valued and connected to her partner, the more receptive she will be to sex. Whereas a man will use sex to feel connected. So that's another big difference. But there are other differences too, in that men can come from penetration. Men can come pretty easily. For women, there are more factors involved, and even physically, women usually take longer to come. They don't necessarily come from penetration. I personally have never come from penetration. I have friends who have. So your dick will never make me come, guys. And ladies, his dick is never going to make me come. So why would I hook up? Why would I have sex with a guy for free? Basically, because I'm not going to come on his dick. I'm going to enjoy the fucking. It's not going to give me an orgasm. It's not going to give me the same pleasure that a man gets. And so I don't want to deal. It's not even enticing to me unless I have a reason for it. In a relationship, there would be a reason. It would be, I don't want to have sex with strangers for free. Put it that way. And in a relationship, here's another difference between men and women. In a relationship, a woman will often enjoy sex and not care if she has an orgasm, because there's enough pleasure and closeness that's satisfying, and an orgasm is sometimes too much trouble, especially at night. Ladies, have you ever noticed, if you're that way too, that at night it's harder to climax? I don't even like to try usually. It's just harder. My body's kind of like in a winding down state and relaxing. In the daytime, it's a lot much easier. I did notice that. So men typically want to come, but there are times they know they can't, and then they're okay with not coming. If they already masturbated, or they just know they're not going to be able to get over the edge, they'll still say, I had a really good time, I don't care that I came. But in general, I think men really want to come. I'd say that if a woman and a woman, I think that's really it. So to summarize, for a woman to want sex, she has to feel good about her body. She has to feel relaxed. She has to feel connected to her partner. So the first two are independent of you. She has to feel good about her body and her sexuality. She has to feel relaxed. So her body's in a relaxed state. And then she has to feel connected to her partner. And then she needs to have a partner that she knows she's going to have good sex with this guy. Early on in a relationship, women will often have more sex because they're aroused by this new guy. They want to be close. They want to get his approval maybe and feel more connected. But over time, her interest in sex with a guy is going to decrease. Ladies, it will decrease, nothing wrong with you, to your baseline. And your baseline is how often you masturbate before you met this guy. And when you first meet someone, your arousal level goes up if you're attracted to that person sexually. But then after a year or two, it'll go back to baseline. So a good question to ask yourself, ladies, is how often did I masturbate before I met this guy? And then just expect that's nothing wrong. You're going to go back to that level unless he does things to get you in the mood, which he can do. I talk to men all the time who tell me their wives lost interest in sex or don't want sex with them, and I say, did she ever? Or how often did she masturbate before she met you? Or, how does she feel about you? How does she feel about the relationship? Did children come along? I think I've been too, I'm always more empathetic to the person I'm talking to, but I should start asking people, well, what's your role in this? So when men start telling me their wives don't have sex, I'm going to start asking, why don't you, what are you doing that makes her not want to have sex with you? If a woman has been sexually abused or sexually abused either physically or religiously by being told sex was bad, there's she may never give you a blowjob. That you might just as well write that off. These women often don't want to go to therapy. You have to go to some deep therapy to heal those things. But in general, ladies, if you want more sex and also the physical part, I'd say get exercise so you feel good about yourself and you have good blood flow. If you feel dry, there's some really good creams to use on the outside. I made a video the other day about Rosebud Honor. It's more like a Vaseline type consistency. It keeps, since I've been using it, and I feel the air is really dry here in San Diego. I don't ever feel dry anymore in my inner labia, so touching myself now feels really good. It just really feels more good. You can put it on your rosebud as well, and that just makes everything more pleasurable. If you're dry on the inside, I don't know what to tell you because I don't have that problem. I still get wet enough that I don't need lube for intercourse. And I'm 59. According to Ayurveda, it's the dryness has to do with being dry. I make sure I take cod liver oil, or I mean flaxseed oil, and I keep myself hydrated. Notice if you're feeling dry in your vagina, if you're also feeling dry in your mouth or in your skin, and maybe try that flaxseed oil. Because later in life it's a vata time of life, and that's more dryness, or there could be some other imbalance. Yeah, so those are my tips. I think stress can keep a woman from feeling aroused too. Like, keep relaxed, exercise, eat well, and make sure that you always speak up and don't let people touch you, ladies, if it doesn't feel good. Because I noticed a couple years ago I lost my sex drive, and I noticed I had been letting men touch me in ways they thought they were pleasing me, but it wasn't, and I didn't speak up because I had made the man the authority in the bedroom. I thought I should like what the guy likes, and now I really speak up. I've had to really learn exactly what I like and communicate that sweetly so that I can make sure that I have a pleasurable experience, because my body is relying on my mouth to speak and take care of it and protect it. So when I start doing things that don't feel good, my libido actually takes a nosedive. My body's saying no. So if you lost your sex drive, start thinking about, are you having sex that you're not a hell yes to, and what you need to make it feel good. And ladies, that's a process that I didn't fully get into my 50s, because I didn't often know what they were doing or what would feel better. I just knew I didn't like it or it was boring. So it took me a while to really figure out what I liked, and then I communicate that to the person that I'm with. I hope this video has been super helpful. I have one of my girlfriends coming over. We got some takeout food. Even though the restaurants, some of the restaurants in San Diego are open in defiance of the lockdown order, which is great, but I didn't want to sit outside in the cold tonight, so we might do that a different day. And I just wanted to get this video in real quick. And I got my nails done, I got my hair done last week, and there's still places that are seeing people, because you know what? They realize if they close down again, they're just going to go out of business. That's it. You know? That's it. And I haven't heard of a single case. The governor is closing these places down, but he has no evidence. There isn't a single case of someone getting COVID from a nail salon or a hair salon or a restaurant. They're getting them from small in-home gatherings, and these are happening because, you know, people want to get together. You know, I also heard that some people are getting a lot of side effects from the COVID vaccine. I have some family in the medical field. I have quite a few family members who are doctors and in the medical field. So I talked to them to kind of find out what's going on. And anyway, thank you for watching my video, you guys. Have a happy Sunday.